Okay, there we go. Okay, we are solving literal rational equations. So rational equations is the same thing we've been doing. Yes? The last 2 days. Literal part we've done before, it's been a while, but literal equations just means there's a bunch of variables. Yes? So if you look, you'll see there's a couple different variables, couple different variables, couple different variables, so on and so forth. Yes? That's all that it means when it says literal. When we're dealing with literal equations, it just means we're rearranging, because you can't simplify like you can, like we could yesterday and the day before. Because yesterday and the day before we only had one letter, so we were able to solve. We can't do that here. We can just rearrange to get what letter we want alone. That's it. Okay, so knowing that, we follow all the same rules. So if you look at this first one, r is not a fraction, but we want it to be a fraction because we want to cancel the denominator. Over here we have a denominator of w. So our LCD, since that's my only denominator, is going to be w. So I need this denominator to be w. And if I give w to the bottom, I have to give it to the top as well. Yes? Do my denominators match now? What do we get to do when our denominators match? Cancel them, because if you multiply both sides by w, they both cancel. What you do to one side, as long as you do it to the other, it's still equal. So we get r times w, which is rw, equals t plus 9. The right side did not change. Now, once you get rid of the fraction, you need to pay attention to what you're solving for. So what are we solving for? T. What do we do to get t by itself? Subtract 9. Minus 9, minus 9. And I always like to write what I'm solving for first. So t equals rw minus 9. Does that simplify? No. Rw and 9 are not like terms, so we're done. That was an easy one. We like that one. Okay, I know we're not going to go in numerical order because next would be number 2, but number 2 and 4 are a lot alike. So I'm going to do number 3 next, actually. Okay, because I want to do 2 and 4 together. So look at number 3. There's 2 different ways to do this one. You can find your LCD, or you can actually move this fraction to the right and cross multiply. A lot of y'all don't really like to cross multiply, so I'm not going to, but if you do, you can move this over by subtracting, and it'll be the same answer. But I'm just going to do a common denominator because that's what y'all seem to be doing. So my common denominator, since my denominators don't match, are just the denominators multiplied together. So it's x plus y times r minus 1. And then the 0 didn't have a denominator, so, I mean, you could put a 1, you don't have to. So this has the x plus y, but it, r minus 1, r minus 1. So the x plus y has the x plus y, it needs the r minus 1. So I'm going to multiply r minus 1 on this side, top and bottom. So this one has the r minus 1, it needs the x plus y, so I'm going to multiply bottom and top, x plus y. And the 0 technically needs both, so x plus y, r minus 1, x plus y, r minus 1. Do my denominators match? What do we get to do once they match? Cross them out, cancel them out. Now, I'm going to distribute as I rewrite it. So 2 times r is 2r. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Positive 3 times x is positive 3x. Positive 3 times y is positive 3y equals, well, y'all, what's 0 times anything? 0. So do we care about any of that? Nope. That's what we liked about it. It's 0. So when you have a 0, you can kind of ignore the multiplying part because 0 times anything is 0. Now, what are we solving for on this one? X. And x is in one spot right here in the middle, but we need to get that term by itself. This whole term, we need to get it by itself. So I can move these 3 terms to the right, or could I just move this 1 term to the 0? Yeah, because 0, is that going to disappear when I move the other term, the 0? Yeah, because that holds no value. So I can do minus 3x minus 3x. This is not dividing, just so you know. This zeroes out, and I get 2r. I'm going to put this in order. So plus 3y minus 2 equals negative 3x. So we're still solving for x. Is x alone? No. What do I need to do to get x alone? Divide by negative 3. When you're dividing by a monomial, do y'all remember what a monomial means? One term, no plus or minus. You want to separate every single term and divide. Yes? Okay, so Q is a monomial because it's just one letter. L is a monomial because it's just one letter. 2 is a monomial, it's just one number, okay? So this cancels, and I have x equals, I like to write what I'm solving for first. Does anything here simplify? No. Now, does it matter if I write the negative on top or bottom? No. Remember, negatives are flexible, you can move them wherever. Here the 3's cancel, but what's a positive divided by a negative? So this is minus y. And here the negatives cancel, so we have plus 2/3. Oops, sorry. So that one's not bad, it just looks gross. Any questions with those two? Okay. Let's look at the bottom left. So number 2. So number 2 has similarities with number 1 and number 4. Number 1 in the fact that y does not have a fraction, so we're going to have to make it a fraction. What is my LCD going to be? R minus 2. So I'm going to put R minus 2 under here, and what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top by multiplying. Did I have to change anything for that second fraction? No, so nothing changes there. So I get to cross off my denominators because they match. And I'm going to distribute. What's y times r? Yeah, or ry to be proper, alphabetical order. And then y times negative 2 is negative 2y equals RT did not change. Now here on this one we're solving for r, but if you notice there are 2 r's. And are they even close together? No. So there are rules whenever you have, well, what you're solving for is separate. So when it's in 2 places, these are your rules. So you want them on the same side. Get to same side. So that's your first step. So I want my r's on the same side, and I want them alone. So that's good to write. I want them alone on the same side. So I don't want to like move this RT over here because this does not have an R. I don't want it to be on the same side, right? So I'm going to move this minus RY minus RY. And now I have negative 2y equals RT minus RY. So now I have them on the same side. They're still separate though. What can I do from there? I can't combine them because this has a t and that has a y, so they're different. They're not like terms. But can I take it out? What do we call it when we take it out? Can we take out the GCF? Isn't R your GCF? Yeah, so I'm going to rewrite the left side, negative 2y. And R is my GCF, so when I take that out, I'm left with t minus y. Remember, taking out GCF is the same thing as dividing, so those cancel. And now do I have R in one spot? Mm-hmm. Yes. And what do I have left? Negative. Yeah, what do I still need to get rid of? That t minus y. And this is R times t minus y, parentheses represent multiplication. How do we get rid of multiplication? Divide. So we're going to divide both sides by t minus y. And we get R equals negative 2y over t minus y. And now, I do realize that the top and bottom both have y's, but they do not cancel because this has that minus. Remember, when there's a plus and minus, they're stuck like glue. Okay? So that does not cancel. So your last step is to divide by leftovers. Any questions with that one? Okay, one more together. Look at number 4. What is your LCD?
X or Y.
Well, do any of them have anything that matches? So we're literally just going to multiply all 3 denominators. So to put that in proper order, it would be 2xy. So this one has the x. What's it missing? 2 in the y. So times 2y times 2y. This one has the 2, so we need to times xy times xy. What we do at the bottom, we have to do the top to keep it equal. And then this has the y, so times 2x times 2x. Now, do our denominators match? Yes. So we cross them out. 1 times 2y is just 2y, plus 1 times xy is xy, equals 1 times 2x is 2x. And I'm solving for y. Well, first things first, is this in order? This is a degree of 1 and this is a degree of 2. So let's flip-flop it. xy plus 2y equals 2x. So now, what I'm solving for, there's 2 of them. So it's in 2 places. Are they on the same side alone already? Yes. So that first step, I don't even have to do. It's already done. Can I take it out as a GCF? Yeah, what's my GCF? Y. And when I take out y, what do I have left? X plus 2. And then I divide by my leftovers. Well, my leftovers are that x plus 2. So my answer is 2x over x plus 2. And again, because the denominator has that plus sign, I cannot simplify, so that's my answer. Now, I'm not going to do any of the practice with you, but there is one thing I want to say about the practice. So when you're done writing that down, flip to number 5. Don't make number 5 hard. It's way easier than you think it is. Okay? But what I want you to realize is that it says you're solving for y, and y and y1 are different. So you're solving for that first y. Yes? So you can't combine them. They're not like terms. This is y, this is y1. Yes? This is x, this is x1. They're not the same. Yeah? Okay. That's what you're working on.